custom key shoot, which is gear menu 7. So custom key shoot. And so what you do here, there's two banks of these. There's 1 and 2, and the one we want is in 2. So you'll notice the top one is AEL button, and then the bottom one is AF/MF button. And I've got that set up for back button focus because that's what I prefer. But the AEL button, which is the position the switch is in right now, is set for EyeAF. And once you click on that, you got all these different, things you can make it do, but you just want to have EyeAF and lock in. And so your AF/MF button should say AF on, and your EyeAF should say should be AEL button, just like that. Now, once we're in that position, that will set us up for eye track focus, which you can see the green. Yes, I need AFC. The other setting that's so important is you have to have it on AF continuous, which is AFC right there. You don't have to go dig to the menus because it's in your function mode. So this is your function button, and it calls up a whole bunch of whatever you program to be. So once you're in AFC, you'll see that the eye, wherever he goes, it'll stay on there. That's it. And I can take pictures while I'm doing this, and it's going to catch him. Now, every once in a while, you'll notice that it will lose the eye, and what it'll automatically do when you see a big square appear, go ahead and move your face around real fast. When you see the big square appear, what it's doing is it's reverting to eye track and go a little bit slower. So a little bit, yeah, there we go. And so it's keeping up with the eye pretty well. And of course, any of these pictures, that eye is going to be sharp wherever he was. Now, my shutter speed's obviously 45th of a second, so it's going to be a little slow. But basically in this mode, you just click up for normal autofocus. Patrick, go move around a little bit. Yep. And it'll like follow him wherever. See, now it's on his fingers because it's the closest thing. Sometimes you have to go back to the face, and then it'll find it and keep it. But it's much safer to use eye tracking because it'll just track his eye wherever he goes, no matter what. And it is very powerful. And I've done entire shoots, 300, 400, 500 headshots in a day, and every one is tack sharp. It's pretty sweet. So that's the way I do it. And then occasionally what I'll do is I'll change this to this being mechanical shutter and this being the silent shutter. But usually I've got it in this setup, and that way at just a flick of a switch, I'm now eye tracking no matter what I'm doing. Very useful for photojournalists and, well, really anybody, wedding and portrait photographers. Is a really powerful tool. And that I'm aware of, I don't think anybody has eye tracking focus at all except for Sony. So it's pretty innovative, and it's a great way to shoot your really, really big, fast lenses wide open and not sweat it and know that you're shooting with confidence as you go. The first thing you need to do is go to the gear into 7 and roll down to custom key settings and then punch the center button. You have two banks of these. These are all buttons on bank 1, and then these are buttons on bank 2. And what we're interested in is this little button right here, which is in the down position, it's AEL. In the up position, it's AF/MF. And so what we want to do is get into the custom key settings, and we're going to go to bank 2 and scroll down to AF/MF and make sure that AF on is on. Now this is going to set up back button focus, so if you don't want to do that, that's okay. If you prefer not to do that, you can make this button anything you want to. But when you go in the down position, which is AEL here, this one is where we want to really get into it, and we want to do the eye track AF. So you have all these different choices. You want to select EyeAF in the AEL button, and then hit the center button, and then you're good to go. Now, once you're in this position, what's going to happen is the camera in the AF/MF button, I've got it in wide area autofocus right now, and you can probably see the green little dots everywhere, the little squares. Just go ahead and move around a little bit, Patrick. And it'll track him, whether he's coming closer and further away from the camera, it'll do that. But what it's not able to do is discern an eye. All it's doing in this position is it's trying to figure out what's closest to the camera at any given moment. Now when I switch the switch down to AEL, now I'm going to engage eye tracking, and I can just tick that on, and now it's going to just track only the eye. And sometimes you'll see it'll switch from one eye to the other, and what it's doing is it's figuring out which eye is closest to the camera. Occasionally it will miss and not know what to do. Like if he closes his eyes, it'll often revert into facial recognition autofocus. So you can open them again because it's not getting fooled. The A7R is quite good at this. So even if he's moving really fast, like crazy fast, you'll see that every once in a while the big square appears, and that square is facial recognition. So when it can't do the eye track, it automatically gives you the next best thing. But really the eye tracking is excellent. And you can shoot a lot of frames a second. You can shoot 5 frames a second while someone's moving. And as long as your shutter speed here is high enough, it will track the eyeball and ignore everything else. The amazing thing too about this feature is that it actually covers eyeglass wearers too. It somehow knows the difference between an eyeball and eyeglasses, and it will see through both of them. So it's pretty sweet. But this really makes my job much easier as a photographer. I shoot people for a living, whether they're playing sports or whatever, and it's just an awesome way to work. So up is normal tracking, whatever's happening, whatever autofocus you have set, and then you click down and you're in eye tracking just that quickly. And as long as you hold your button down and you have the camera set to continuous AFC focus, it's going to continue to focus no matter what. It's very cool. Hope this is helping you.